just did this right quick. Because in the first week of knowledge, we're going to be teaching about yourself, because first that which is natural, then that which is spiritual. God just knew what he was doing when he did that, because people try to have a natural understanding. They don't get this. They don't get the supernatural sometimes at all until you explain it to them naturally. So week one involves getting to know yourself medically and interpersonally. So I mean, are you a procrastinator? You know what I'm saying? Do you lay down in bed to eat? That is a big problem, especially with people with self-image problems. You understand what I'm saying? You got a self-image problem when you exercise, and you wondering why you can't. You still got the belly, but you know everything else is defined. Well, you lay down and eat. You know, people got to get to know themselves. Nutrition wise, in order to get into this lifestyle from the standard American diet into God's diet plan, there needs to be a transference taking place. So that's what I teach. I teach how to transfer into these foods. I teach how to use food desert items instead of throwing them away, because we are sustainable. You can take those nasty behind peas that come in a can and squish them down into like a paste, and add a little bit of green dye to it, and teach kids how to tie dye shirts and stuff. And just with a little bit of dye, you have a lot of the green pea stuff, and it accelerates the color. And you know, do a lot of fun. You can make chalk and stuff that's biodegradable, different stuff. Exercise. We want to teach exercise to the people. There's different types of exercises you can do. We can do physical exercises, and we can do mental exercises. What's your mental exercise every night? Reading the Word of God before I go to bed. I have a goal of reading at least one book. And you know, some people try to play around and read Micah or read Jude, and and you know, what happened to me just might happen to them. Same thing that happened to Shirley Caesar. That spirit will come upon you, and that Jude will tear you up. So then we have water. Water in the natural is water in the natural is H2O. Nothing can seem to stop this force. So then it's represented in the spirit as either fire or water. The spirit of God is either fire or water. And what can stop those two elements? One or the other. And water can stop fire, but nothing can stop the spirit of God. And so those are the things that are connected to it. So when we talk about water, we want to talk about how it hydrates the body in the natural sense, and how it hydrates the body in the spiritual sense. Then we have sunlight. First, that which is natural. You need sunlight. People seem to think that that they need to get into light things in order to get darker or whatever. I guess, you know, and it's not just a white people thing. People are either getting darker or lighter. I don't know what people are going through, but you can receive benefits from the sunlight, rather you're getting radiant heat, which is direct sunlight, or rather on a sun cloudy day, sunlight is still hitting you. If there's light outside, you're still getting light. And then we have the sunlight, the light that Yeshua gives us, which is our gospel, that living water that was talked about with the woman at the well. She never heard nothing like this. This dude knew everything about her, and she went and told everybody else. And then one day they didn't even need her no more, because they had living water. And so the light of Yeshua brings the living water to life that is in us. And then not only that, it's sonship. Can you walk in the character of Christ? Everyone can. They just don't believe that they can. So that's what we have to do, is excavate sunlight and S-U-N and S-O-N up out of people. Then we have temperance, fasting and prayer. I'm gonna move past that. Okay, and then we have air. I don't like to change. I don't want to pity patty it. It's fasting and prayer. We still need it. It's relevant in the story. That's for me. Maybe not for y'all.
For what? Temperance?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay. I was like, where are we? What are we? You have moved so quick. I'm like,
but it's being recorded. It's being recorded. I wouldn't do y'all like that. And then we have air. Air is the breath of God. Air in the natural is something that none of us can live without. All living organisms need some form of air. I believe it's all living organisms. There's no organism that can live without air.
Actually, there are.
No, there's carbon. They live by carbon monoxide too, right?
Yeah, there are organisms that can just breathe carbon monoxide, but the ones that live on carbon monoxide, they extrude oxygen, which we
Okay.
need.
So there is a
Yeah, and so either way, either you taking in oxygen or you breathing out oxygen.
okay. And
So
then,
air, you're going to get it either way. But go ahead.
all right, and then we have the rest of God. The rest, physically, we need rest. Why? Because, it keeps us from having attitudes. It keeps our vision clear, blah, 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 in the natural. In the spirit, we need the rest because when we're calmed down, and people get it misunderstood that to be still and let God be God means shut up, let him talk, because a lot of times all the voices we hear our bosses, we hear our children, we hear us, we hear Satan, but if we be still, we are the sheep that know his voice, and so then we get the best of God, the downloads, the thought that and whatever happened throughout the week. When we wrote that down and we was praying about it, now we're sitting down. I mean, we're not just resting like overnight, going to sleep to get up to go to work. We resting in him fully, and so now we get our answers. And that's a lot of time things are deliverance happens then, salvation happens then, answers happen there in the rest of God. Then trust. One of the hardest things for people to do because he's an invisible God. First, that which is natural. He said, okay, I want you to assemble with the saints. People cannot get around going to church. Now, whether you want to call it church, whether you want to call it getting together in your living room and talking about Jesus, it's up to you. Tomato, tomato. But we have to get together. He said, you can't see him. So how you going to trust him that you can't see when this brother right here that's been doing for you, you always talking about him, you always got something with him, but he a human just like you, and you got something with you, you got issues, but you talking about you want to trust me. So we got to teach people how to trust and trust people to know that people going to be themselves, that they're human beings, that they are not the omnipotent one, but that we strive to be. And we can be done.